Hello everyone. This is me after editing the entirety of this video, and I'm realizing I should probably give some context for the first thing you see, because the first thing you see is me, and my ear is huge because my earrings got infected. That's right, the new piercings I got. They're fine now, obviously, because I am a medical genius. I'm just kidding, I had to call my mommy. So, um, the first thing you see, well, the first thing you're about to see, is me and my car on the way to Walmart to get things to disinfect my very infected ear. It's about this big and it's red. And I didn't explain that, and I really should have. So this is me explaining it now because I didn't give any context. I just hopped in the car. I was like, going to Walmart. My ear's huge. So here's your context. Another thing. This is not like supposed to be good. It's just a fun time. So if you criticize it at all because you're like, this is not peak editing skills. Did you think it was gonna be? This is a surrogate for the Snapchat videos in my car. This is not gonna be something beautiful. That's really it though. Have fun. I finished on the way to Walmart, and if you didn't think I looked bad before, this is it now. I feel crazy. I feel crazy because I do not understand how this happened. Like, I know that like there was something that I could have done, but like I'm almost positive that I've done that before. Again, this is piercing 11 and 12, you guys. Like 3 or 4 which I did myself. So I know that they were more prone to infection than this one was. So what the freak is going on? I had plans today. I was gonna go to the library from like 9 to 5, and I was gonna go to Lily's with my friends to go dancing. I can't go dancing with my ear infected. It might get worse. Like, going to a bar is like the worst idea right now for me. And I know that. Doesn't make you any less sad though, does it? No, it does not. So, yeah. Kind of sad about that. No, I'm not kind of. I'm very sad about that. But good news, my friends and I hung out yesterday. We went to Blowing Rock to go to this bookstore because they're my book club friends. And so we were hanging out, looking at books. Went to this tea and spice shop because I like tea a lot, in case you didn't know. And I'm always looking for a new tea. But at this spice place, they had like little like recipe cards with like their spices included. So you just like buy the meat or buy the vegetables and then make it yourself, which I love that kind of stuff. There was a brand I used to love. Oh my god, I can't take myself seriously. Called Epicure, and they used to do that, but like it was like all like the spices were just like loose in a package and you had to just like dump into a pot kind of thing. And so I'm trying to find, because they went out of business like almost a year ago today, which is really sad for me because they make my favorite soup mix. And so my mom, when she found out they were like going out of business, she bought me like 80 of them, which made me think, oh, that's a lot. I make it once a week, so that'll last me like less than 2 years. So I've been rationing. I've been making it less now that oh frick, my chapstick just fell. Anyways, so I bought something to make for, oh, look at that cute little puppy. I bought something to make for book club. We're having our like outgoing meeting this week, and so I wanted to make pumpkin bread, so I bought a pumpkin bread mix, and then I bought their White Mountain chicken chili mix because that sounded amazing, and apparently it just tastes like fall in my mouth. I'm very excited about that. And because I might not be tutoring next semester, I might see if they're hiring, because that is so my vibe, and it's like 25 minutes away. I would love that. I would love that. To work at a spice shop, sign me up. Sign me up. And then I could like get a discount. Not that's like the most important part. I would love to like see the recipes and like to help make the recipes because I love to cook. And so I was thinking about it. I'm like, that'd be so fun. So, But I have a story to tell you guys later about, I'm taking a chemical research seminar class right now. And so every Friday, somebody come and they'd speak to our class, from like different like colleges or different programs and stuff. Like usually they're like older and they've done lots of research and they have lots of things to say and like very cool stuff. Yesterday it was a PhD student from UNCG, or was it UNCC? I don't know. This is the abbreviated version. I'll go into more detail later. It was question time at the end, and there's 200 of us in there. That's an exaggeration. Like 150 of us in their max. I exaggerated. There's like 150 of us in their max, and they were like, "Any questions?" And I was like, "Yes, actually." And so I asked a question, and then my professor asked, "Ow, frick! My necklace just pinched me." Ow. And then my professor asked a question, and then based off of her question, I had another question. And so then I asked the other question, and afterwards my professor was like, "That was a very insightful questions you asked. I'm very impressed by you." My biochemistry professor was proud of me. She did her postdoc at Yale, and she was impressed by me. Thank you. Yeah. I hope that you guys are more intrigued by my conversation than the fact that my ear is like 3 times the size of the other one right now. Because I'm very insecure. I'm going on public like this. I wish I didn't have to, but I do. I have to get these things right though, or it's gonna get worse. Kill me! Hello everyone. We're back. I am about to go to the library. This is my little ear update. Much better. Much better. I'm exhausted. I don't want to do any work. So, to make myself feel more productive, I curled my eyelashes. And it helped a little, so. Oh, it's Pumpkin. Pumpkin! Where's the head, everybody? Come here. This is Pumpkin. Say hello. Oh. He licked it. Back in our natural habitat, my car. Hello, everyone. I'm going to school to get some work done. And I wanted to chat about this really cool thing that happened on Friday. It's currently Sunday, but this really I got one of my teachers told me that she was impressed by a question that I asked. So I'm gonna give you that story time because I need to tell someone besides everyone else I've already told. So, we were learning about like how this one protein that is in all of our cells works. And if you didn't know, proteins are long chains of amino acids. And there are 20 that are sorry, the lighting is horrible. There are 20 that are most used. And I'm not getting them all for you because I had to memorize them for my class. I don't feel like doing that right now. So, okay. But, in this chain of this certain protein that is in every cell, even cancer cells, remember that, it'll be important for later, has this 3 amino sequence where it's cysteine, serine, cysteine. And cysteine is the only amino acid that can form, or one of the only amino acids that can form disulfide bonds. And that happens when that certain amino acid gets oxidized. And that can happen if the pH is higher than the pKa, then the amino acid becomes negatively charged. Sorry, moving on. So, they were talking about how we don't know. Okay, is that metalloproteins, which I think is how it was said. I don't remember exactly, to be honest with you. But it's proteins that have metal attached to them, which is there are some enzyme complexes that do that. Like hemoglobin does that, where an iron will express the ring so that it can bind to more oxygen and carry it to your cells and give it to the myoglobin within your tissues and stuff. And so I kind of knew that process a little bit more or less. I was like, okay, I kind of get that. No big deal. Also, I think you only see my face. I'm gonna try and move my camera. Give me 1 second. Oh my god, that is the cutest car I've ever seen in my whole life. That is the cutest car I've ever seen. Oh, how cute. Okay, I'm going. Anyways, so we're talking about that, and when you give too much copper to a cell, it will die because it doesn't have enough. I don't know what the right word is, but it doesn't have enough like copper synthesizers. I don't know if that's a protein or an enzyme within the cell. I don't know, but it'll just die because it doesn't have enough to like handle it. Basically, it can't handle too much of that certain metal. Do not pull out for this. Happens every time I come to this certain spot. I keep moving myself. I don't know if you can even hear what I'm saying when I move around my hands like this. So I'm gonna try to stop doing that. We found out that most cells die with too much copper, and so people were trying to use it in cancer research. But it turns out some cancer cells mutate so that they actually work better with too much copper, and so they started to get worse. Oh my god, the car is in front of me, you guys. I asked the question after she finished the talk, which was like not all about that, but that's the thing that like stuck with me the most. Was like, why do you, because there's no like answer as to why that happens. It's just like a thing. It just either it helps the cancer cells die or it helps them increase. We don't really know why. It does one or it does the other. And so I asked the speaker, I was like, why do you think? And she's like, well, some cells just have inherently more of those um, copper processors than others do, and I guess that leads them to being more proficient at handling it, and therefore they create more of themselves, which makes sense. But you can't test that until after it's a little bit too late. So they've like kind of like shied away from that in the cancer field, of course, because you can make someone go in from like stage 2 to stage 4 instead of into remission. So makes sense, right? But basically, my professor asked the question of like, if you were to oxidize or create disulfide bonds with those two cysteines, because then the serine wouldn't be able to attach to copper, like would that make it so it couldn't attach to the copper if you were to give them disulfide bonds? Could the serine cysteine, the cysteine cysteine serine complex, could it still bind to metals? And Secret was like, no. And I was like in my head, I was like, oh my gosh, wait a minute. And so then I raised my hand again, mind you. This is my second question. Kind of embarrassing, but don't care. Where I was like, okay, second question. If you could go into the cell and oxidize that protein and make it so that it could not bind to copper, would that cell die? And she was like, yes, the cell would in fact be dead. And I was like, okay, so if we could go into, woo, that's some bright light. If we could go into cancer cells, I say we can go into, like I know what that means. I have no idea what that entails. But if we could go into cancer cells and oxidize those 3 amino acids, we could cure cancer. And she was like, theoretically, yes. So basically, I cured cancer in my in my chemical seminar class. Which like low key, that kind of problem solving, like having to think through that and like coming up with an answer, like I thoroughly enjoyed that line of questioning that my professor and I did together. Genuinely, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to do cancer research. I don't, because I think, oh, it's a really nice looking Corvette. I was like, that seems like super interesting, and also like the problem solving aspect of it is not. It's like it's hard. Obviously, it would have been solved by now. I'm not saying it's not hard, but it makes sense. Like the biology and the chemistry of it together makes sense, and I've kind of realized like I really do like and understand biochemistry. I thought I was gonna hate it because I don't really like biology, but I think that's partly because I took it online freshman year, and the professor was like, she was unlimited attempts on all the quizzes, and then the tests counted for like 2% of our grade. And so I would just like do the quizzes until I got 100, and then I wouldn't study for the tests, and I still got a 98 in the class, even though I got like 60s in all the tests because it didn't matter. So basically, I didn't learn a single gosh darn thing. Not a single thing. Sorry, cat hair. Basically, it like made a new interest for me. I like don't think I'd ever go into like cancer research. I also work with a lot of carcinogens in like my day-to-day lab stuff, so I'm already concerned I'm gonna get cancer one day because of all the lab work that I do. And working with direct cancer cells would probably make me crash out based of just like me being nervous that I'm gonna like contract cancer. However, I do think it's important that people do it, and I do have an interest. Is there something in my hair, or is that just like reflection? Oh, it just is how it is. Okay, whatever. So, yeah. All that to say, then I went to go talk to the speaker afterwards because she was talking. She's a PhD student at UNC Charlotte, and she was asking people to like join their grad program, and I'm applying to grad school right now. Even though I want to desperately be done with school so badly. But here I am, putting myself through more torture. Because why not? What's the worst they can do? Anyways, and so I asked her, I was like, do you guys have like a forensic science program or like any professors that are dedicated to forensic science research? Because there aren't a lot of like grad programs for my specific teeny tiny little thing I want to do one day. And so, like, I'm applying to Wilmington, Colorado, and VCU. And that one I came hesitantly because it's the best one for me and what I want to do one day. I know someone who's in the program that I want to do like a PhD professor who would like shadow me the whole way through my program. I'd be in a research lab. I'd be like doing things and for forensic science and stuff like that. But I want to move to Wilmington so badly. I want to live with Grayson so badly, you guys, so badly. And I want to like I love Wilmington. I want to learn how to surf because I want to see if what I learned, if what I've been doing since I was 10 years old behind the boat will translate. I'm doubting it will, but I'm hoping it will. You know, and I feel like I'd be happy there. But I also feel like I'd be happy anywhere that I put my feet because I'm gonna choose to like be joyful. You know, but I'm just nervous. To be honest with you, I'm nervous about starting over somewhere again because I do feel like, in a sense, that um being more being alone romantically has made me like have to branch out platonically. Like I made more friends in the past like 4 months I did the entire past 3 years of college, and that's because I was kind of forced to, because I don't have someone to like go home to and talk to every day anymore. That's a choice that I made. I'm okay with that choice, but I just it's been weird, you know, and I don't really want to do it again from scratch because I had friends here before. It wasn't from scratch, and that was hard because I had to be like I can't rely on them like I would a boyfriend. It's weird, you know, and you can't expect them to treat you with utmost importance like a boyfriend should. And so like learning that was hard too. Being like, hey guys, like I want to hang out. Why did that suddenly get dull? I want to hang out, and they'd be like, I can't. I have plans with my boyfriend. I'm like, I'm gonna kill all your boyfriends. Love me more than them. What? But also I get that. So it's been rough, basically, was what I'm saying about making sure that I don't put too much pressure on my platonic friendships to be like romantic friendships. Does that make sense? Anyways, so um I kind of don't know what I'm gonna do. Because in Richmond, I have friends in Richmond. Like, it's not like I would be like camp friends. Like, I know people who are gonna stay in that area. I'm not too worried. But like, I've been wanting to move to Wilmington for a really long time. You know, like that was either I wanted to be stay in the mountains or I wanted to go to Wilmington. Go to Wilmington. Go to Wilmington. Sorry for talking too fast. And I feel like I shouldn't change my plans just because my life changed a little. I want to be somewhere where it's like opposite of this. I want a drastic change in my life, you know? One that I pick with like intention of it doing what I want it to do. Like I want it to be a change. But yeah. Sorry for talking your ear off. I have no. This is like 15 minutes straight of me just chatting. I probably will cut a lot of this out because there was a point in the drive where I smiled and my teeth looked yellow. I freaked out and wanted to cancel the whole thing. So I'll probably cut that out because my teeth aren't yellow. I just don't know why in that one moment it looked very yellow to me. I'll keep this part in because I want you guys to know that I felt that way. Can you hear the wind? I forget I'm using the tiny mic. You definitely cannot hear the wind. If you can, okay, but I guess I don't know. I won't know until I watch this back, which I will not be watching this back. I gotta get going, even though I really do not want to. Kaya called me when I was on the way out of the house, and she was like, "Are you going to the library today?" I was like, "Actually, sweetheart, I'm on the way there right now." So we're gonna hang out today. She has her thesis due tonight. You guys, my friend is so smart. Kaya is so smart. She did research in Alaska this summer for 2 weeks, studying glaciers and how they're cleaving and like their cleaving patterns and like what that means about like how they'll cleave in the future. She's so smart. Pardon me. Like, I have no idea why she's friends with me. She probably shouldn't be friends with me. I dumb her down, I feel. But this is so exciting because she's graduating, which is sad, but it's good. I'm glad she's. Kai, if you watch this, I'm so glad you're graduating, but I hate that you're leaving me here by myself. So we're gonna hang out. I'm very excited. Well, hang out's a strong word. We're gonna do work together. We're both gonna have both AirPods in, except for me, because I can't put one in here yet. It won't stay. My ear is swollen still. Anyways, I'll leave you guys alone. I hope you're watching this while like doing dishes or something, so that I'm like keeping you company. Keep washing those dishes, girl. Clean those dishes. Yes. Anyways, someone's watching me talk to myself, and I've come to the conclusion that I do not care when that happens anymore. I do it so often in my car. See, there she goes. That I've just become to the point where I'm like, what is even embarrassment anymore? What is even shame? Don't know her. Plan is to do homework for a couple hours. I want to be out of here before the sun sets so that I can go on a little run, feed Pumpkin, and then come back. Because Kaya's gonna be here till midnight for sure. Because this is a lot of work, you guys. So she's been working for the past like 3 months, but it's a lot. So you're trying to be there for her through everything that she's doing by staying quiet. Because I have a problem that when we do homework together, hang on, I'm watching myself talk, and the little like hairs on this thing move. Isn't she so cute? She's adorable. But what was I saying? Oh, yes. I have a problem with talking to her too much when she's trying to do work because I love her and I want to speak to her until everything's going on in my head. But she has work to do. So I need to not do that as much anymore. Especially today. Because I also have work to do. But anyways, I'll leave you guys to it. And I will see you all very, very soon. Hello, dearests and dearies. That's actually perfect. That way that blocks the sun from my face, because it would be like this if I didn't. And nobody wants that. Lovely. I just left the library. It's currently 4:40. I was there for about 3 hours, give or take some minutes. Sorry for the abrupt audio change. You're my iPad, spoiler. My phone's dead. It died while it was actually plugged in, and now it's alive again, but barely. I'm gonna go home, feed Pumpkin, feed myself, then I'm gonna wait like 15-20 minutes, go to the Greenway, run a little, and then come back to the library. So yeah, that's the plan. We're not gonna deviate from the plan. That is the plan. That's what's gonna happen. Alright? It's kind of windy, pretty chilly, so I'm kind of worried about being cold. But I'm gonna be running, so I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna warm up. It'll be alright. Ear check. This is her right now. A little red, but fine. I'm gonna clean her, so she'll be alright. And I won't let sweat get in her or anything, so don't you guys worry. We're gonna keep her clean. But I don't know. I'll update you guys when I get home, I guess. have fun. Keep rocking, I guess. See y'all soon. Just ran. I will never understand how anyone does that for fun. I need to stop my workout. Hold on. How the freak do I stop this thing? Sorry, I haven't done this for a long. This is my second run ever in my whole life. I ran 2 miles, but I walked in between the 2, and I called my mom. I was like, Mom, why do I taste blood in my mouth, but there's no blood in my mouth? And she was like, what are you doing? And I was like, running? She was like, you're not a runner. I was like, yes, I know. It's painfully obvious. And then she was like, well, it's because you've never done it before. And I was like, excuse you, I had done it once before, therefore I should be an expert by now. And she was like, you do realize you can't just like get out of the gate running, right? You need to like walk first and maybe like walk to a mile and then run back. I was like, yeah, that's what I did the first time. I was feeling a little too confident this time. Just like, you know, warmed up for a little bit, walked like 0.2 miles, then started running. After like the mile mark, and I was like, oh my god, I can't breathe. But then I walked for like half a mile and talked to her for a little bit. And then and when I could feel like I could breathe all the way without hurting my lungs and coughing, because I don't know what it is. It's also, the air is so cold right now, it like hurts to breathe, like just like regularly. I don't think that helped much. Also, I apologize that like most of the video you're gonna be watching is just a close-up of my like face in the inside of my car. But you knew that was the vibe when you signed up for this, so don't even complain to me right now. Anyways, yeah, not a runner, but I want to be, and I'm trying so hard to be one. So, be encouraging in the comments, please. Tell me I'm a runner. Lie to me. Tell me I'm a runner. Tell me I'm beautiful, elegant, and like a gazelle. That's what I need to hear right now. I'm just trying to like fill my lungs with air. Oh my god. My body's so confused.
So I asked ChatGPT for context, to how to describe a narrowing valley that a glacier stabilizes in, because I'm writing my thesis right now and I just can't think.
We agreed on neck, but then we realized that doesn't really sound great when the sentence is said out loud.
Yeah.
And then I was like, what about, and both of our brains are dead, so don't take this seriously. And I was like, what about hallway? What about...
You're just kind of like throwing out words.
Literally any word that could mean something.
And so ChatGPT gave me 3 different categories of descriptions, which is a geologic description, which is what I need, a poetic description, and a fantasy description. Which one do we start with? Or simple and clear, but that's not funny.
Well, you could start with the fantasy one. That one was good. It was good. I always felt like I was in the
Which
research.
one?
There's more than one?
Yeah, there's 2 for each
Oh.
category.
Whatever one I didn't hear already, because I want to hear the other one now.
I thought I read you both of them.
I think you showed me one of them.
Okay, well, for fantasy/epic, the first one says, the glacier came to rest in the valley's narrowing throat, held fast by towering cliffs that rose like ancient sentinels. Sentinels? I don't know.
Sentinel.
And then the second one says, there, in the valley's tightening passage, the glacier's steady, its cold heart beating between walls of granite.
That just sounds like some like very
sounds
smart.
like- yeah, it sounds like a romance novel.
Like a bad romance novel.
Yeah. And then for the poetic and descriptive ones, the first one says, the valley tightened around the glacier. Its walls drawing close.
Ew.
A giant stone embrace that held the ice in place.
A giant stone embrace is crazy.
The second one
Okay.
says, for poetic, where the mountains leaned inward, the glacier found a quiet steadiness. its slow blue mass
Are the glaciers blue?
by the narrowing gorge.
Are they blue? I thought they were like white clear looking.
Well, the top of the ice is.
But, like, below the
'cause
water,
that's
they're blue.
debris.
Right.
But, well, the deeper the ice is,
The
the more blue it is because
Okay.
there's less oxygen. And then the last one for poetic slash descriptive says, in the throat of the valley where the land narrows to a solemn hush. The glacier
solemn
anchored
hush?
itself.
What? This is the poetic one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And then the other ones are just like the geology. So that's what I needed. But that's our adventure. It's our ChatGPT adventures. Thanks for listening.
Bye.